All right, picture this. It's late at night. You open up Instagram, and that feeling hits. You know exactly the one I'm talking about. You start scrolling, and boom, someone your age just bought a car. Swipe. Someone's on another vacation. Swipe. Engaged. Has abs now. Moved to another country. Started a business. The highlights just keep hitting you. Bam, 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 one after the other. And just like that, there it is. That quiet, sinking feeling in your stomach, like you're losing a race you didn't even know you were supposed to be running. Now, if this sounds familiar, I want you to know it is not just you. This feeling is incredibly common, and it's not random. There are very real, specific reasons why this happens. It all boils down to this one little question that just bounces around in your head. Am I behind in life? Well, today we're going to dig into that. We're going to break down exactly why you feel that way and why that entire question is probably built on a complete lie. Okay, let's get right into it. The first piece of the puzzle is something called the invisible timeline. See, most of us walk around with this idea that life is supposed to follow a set schedule. Graduate by this age, get a good job by that age, get married, buy the house. But here's the crazy part. Who gave us this schedule? Nobody. And yet somehow we all act like it's a rulebook written in stone. There's actually a formal term for this. Sociologists call it the social clock. It's basically society's unwritten, unspoken timeline for all the big life milestones. And it works like this. If you feel like you're hitting those milestones on time, you feel successful. But the second you think you're falling off that schedule, that's when you start to feel behind. And you know what this clock looks like, right? It's always something like this. Graduate at 22, land that good job by 25, get married at 28, buy the house at 30. So when your friend posts a picture of their new car at age 23, your brain doesn't just register new car. No, it instantly translates that into he's ahead of schedule, and I'm not. And this is so important to get. That feeling of being behind, it often has literally nothing to do with your actual life or your own progress. It has everything to do with how you're measuring up against this completely imaginary timeline that's just living rent-free in your head. So that invisible timeline, that's just the foundation. It's the fuel for an even bigger problem. And this one is huge. The comparison trap. This is where our brains, which are already naturally wired to compare, get hooked up to the rocket fuel of social media. I mean, just to look at what we actually see online. It's such a tiny, curated slice of life. We see the new car, but we don't see the car loan or the debt. We see the big promotion, but not the insane stress and the 80-hour work weeks. We see the happy engagement photo, but we never see the loneliness, the job rejections, or the family drama. And this creates the absolute core of the problem, doesn't it? You are constantly comparing your own behind-the-scenes footage with all the messy, complicated, boring, and doubtful moments to everyone else's perfectly edited highlight reel. And let's be honest, that is a game you are guaranteed to lose every single time. And on top of that, you've got this other little brain glitch working against you called survivorship bias. It means we only see the winners. You see the one YouTuber who's making a living, but you don't see the millions, literally millions, who uploaded a few videos to their 12 subscribers and then just quit. You see the entrepreneur with the fancy car, not the thousands whose businesses went bankrupt. So what's the end result of this whole broken comparison system? It's simple, and it's pretty brutal. Social media is basically designed in a way that makes a perfectly normal, average life feel like a catastrophic failure. Which brings us to another critical point that we almost never talk about. We use this metaphor of the race of life, but we conveniently ignore the most obvious fact. It is a totally unfair race. Why? Because we don't all start from the same place. Think about it. Some people start out with these massive invisible advantages: family money, professional connections, super supportive parents. And others start out with invisible hurdles. They have to support their family, they're working while trying to study, they're dealing with all sorts of instability. It's like watching a 100-meter dash where one runner gets a 50-meter head start, and we all just pretend not to notice. Of course the result is going to look skewed. That's life. So here's the real secret, the thing you have to burn into your brain. When you see your friend's new car, you're only seeing the visible result. You are not seeing any of the invisible advantages that might have helped get them there. You're comparing your full, messy reality to their single, polished outcome. So the starting points are different and the comparisons are broken. But it gets even more complicated because the path itself isn't what we think it is. And that brings us to the myth of linearity. We have this picture in our heads that progress is supposed to be this neat, orderly, step-by-step climb, you know? You finish school, you get the good job, you get promoted, you buy the house, and you're done. A perfect, straight line going up. But the real path for pretty much everyone looks a lot more like this. It's messy, it's confusion, then trying something which leads to failing. Then some random opportunity pops up and sends you off in a totally new direction. Then you hit another problem, and you have to change all over again. It's a scribble, not a straight line. And what that really means is that progress isn't a smooth, steady climb. It happens in big jumps and long stalls. So just because you feel like you're moving slowly right now, that does not mean you'll always be moving slowly. Your big jump could be just around the corner. Okay, so we've completely deconstructed this feeling. The timeline is fake, the comparisons are broken, the race is unfair, and the path is a mess. So, what do we do about it? Well, we need a better metric, a better way to measure our lives. The very first thing you have to do is make a conscious choice to stop asking this question. Just stop. It's a game you can never, ever win because the rules are imaginary and the scores are fake. Asking, am I ahead or behind them, is a useless metric. Instead, you're going to replace it with this question. Am I better than I was last year? Am I learning more? Am I making slightly better decisions? This is the only competition that actually matters because the only person you should be competing against is the you from yesterday. Ultimately, it helps to just change the entire metaphor. Thinking of life as a 100-meter race where everyone starts together and finishes quickly, that's what causes all this anxiety, and it's just not an accurate model of how things really work. Life is much more like a very long road trip. Everyone starts from a different city, in a different kind of car, with a totally different map. The goal isn't to get to the finish line first. The goal is just to make progress on your own unique journey. And that is a race you can actually win.